Hello and welcome to the Online College of Coding video tutorial series. This is the 5th video of the Lunar Shift in GameMaker series. In this video, we're polishing off all of the game mechanics we've currently got. Before starting this tutorial, it's recommended you've seen the previous videos in the series. Let's get started. The bombs and the player don't yet collide, which is sort of a simple thing to fix, but it kicks us off into the polishing stage of the project by dragging in other objects, like the controller, that need to be revisited. Open the controller object and select its create event. Open the execute code action and add the following line of code. This creates a game over variable in the controller object. Setting this variable to true will trigger a range of events to signal the end of the game. Close the text editor and use the add event button to give the controller a step event. From the Control tab of the actions, drag in an execute code action. In the text editor, add the following lines of code. When our game over variable is set to true, the controller will set the speed of our 3 moving room backgrounds to 0. This is going to make the scene appear to stop moving past. Finally, we now just need to have the variable set to true as the player crashes. Close the text editor and close the controller object. Open the player object and select the create a collision event. Drag in an execute code action from the control tab of the actions list, and in the text editor, add the following line of code. This line of code is accessing the controller object's game over variable and setting it to true, which triggers the backgrounds to stop moving. If you go and test the game right now, you will find out that something hasn't stopped moving, and things look pretty broken. But don't worry, that will get fixed shortly. After the player has crashed, we don't want them to be able to move and jump, so we need to turn off the controls once the game over variable has been set. In the player object, select the A key event, and from the control section of the actions list, drag a test variable action into the top of the actions list. In the test variable window, in the variable box, type obj_controller.gameOver, just like we've typed in a previous execute code action. Into the value box, type false. Leave the operation as equal to, and press OK to close the window. Drag the test variable action to the top of the actions list if it isn't already there. It has to be above the jump to position action. Now right-click the test variable action and choose copy. Now select the D key event of the player and paste the action there as well, making sure it's on the top of the list. Test the game with the green play arrow, and you'll notice that the player can no longer move left or right after they've collided with the crater, but they can still jump. So open up the player animation object. Select the W key event, and right-click in the actions list to place the game over test variable action from the previous section. Make sure to drag it to the top of the list. Now test the game again. This time we'll find that after we hit the crater, not only can we not move left or right, but we also can't jump. Great job. Finally, we're adding the collision between the player and the bomb. Open the player object and use the add event button to give it a new collision event with the bomb. From the main 1 tab of the actions, drag in a create instance action. In the create instance window, select the explosion object in the drop-down list. Leave the X and Y positions at 0. Tick the relative box and close the window. From the main 2 section of the actions, drag in a set alarm action. Change which object the action applies to and set it to the controller. Set the number of steps to 100. From the drop-down, select Alarm 1, then press OK to close the Alarm Properties window. From the control section of the actions, drag in an execute code action. In the text editor, type the following line of code. In this action, we're just quickly setting the controller's game over variable to true. Now close the text editor, and from the main 1 section of the actions, drag in a destroy instance action. Set the destroy action to destroy other, and click OK to close it. In a collision between the player and a bomb, if the player destroys the other object, then it's destroying the bomb. Let's close the player object and take a look at the game. Still, the craters don't stop moving yet after the player's crashed. It's an easy fix. The same action that stops the player from moving can stop the crater from moving also. We can just copy and paste it. So open the player object and select the A key event. Right-click the test variable action and choose copy. Now close the player and open the crater object. Right-click in the actions list and choose paste. Make sure to drag the test variable action to the top of the list. Now close the crater object and test the game. By copying the same test variable action to the crater, it will now only move when the game over variable is false. That does it for part 5 of the Lunar Shift tutorial series. We've finished all of the polishing for the game, but we still have one more feature to add. In the next video, we're going to make the player shoot. I'll see you then.